Okay, welcome everyone to Treehouse number 26. So hopefully we'll have Alex turning up later to chat about recent events and answer any questions you guys might have. But up first, we have Tim from Lochmüller Media, who's going to show us some stuff about using custom modules as pages. That's right, isn't it?
So I dive right into it. Background of it is that a couple of times I was reading in Slack that people are talking about pages and how they would like to add more property to pages. Like, for instance, a typical application would be a header picture or banner picture. There are some tricks you can do. You can use the metadata fields in SEO to replace that kind of a bit, but it's always a bit like hacky. So, and actually even in the time back with BC, I was thinking, why not replacing the pages module, the system module, with a custom module and do everything I would like to do. And I just share quickly my screen to show what I mean. So this is a little sketch I did today just to get into the subject. On the left side, you see like how I would build pages with a system module in Treepl. So there's basically only two things I can do. I can change the template, and usually I would put my content of the page in the content field in the page module. And this is a rather typical site. It has like a header, it has a slogan in the header, it has a sidebar with the image, call to action here under the text, the footer, copyright, and so on. So when I do the page module, that basically means that I have to put all of this yellow fields here in the template. So whenever I need a different sidebar or a different header, picture, or whatever, I need to change the template on the page level. And that can be rather difficult if you have like a big site and there's lots of different sidebars and images. And also the combination of image and sidebar can be, actually it's probably not possible to do that in a way that clients can actually administer that. So on the left side, this is how I would do it using a custom module. So I have much more ways to customize my page, because I can not only use templates, which is again the yellow fields here, like in this example, it's only the navigation and logo and the copyright bar on the bottom, which is on the template level. I can also use multi layouts, like detail layouts. So in this example, the header and the footer is basically on the level of the detail layout of the custom module. And then I have a couple of custom properties, which can have different sources. Like for instance, the slogan here in the banner is just a text property. The image, of course, is a media property, but really powerful is that the sidebar can be a data source property. So I can have a separate module, a sidebar module, in which I collect like all my different sidebars, which can like be completely different and have completely different content, and also can actually contain other modules as well again. So I can show this to you in one example I did. I'll bring this up quickly. So this is a page I did using this method, and I have on the left side my admin, and on the right side is the live page. And when I go here on the module, you can see I have like the normal list view here now. And it's a page which has multiple levels in the navigation. So it's not one level, it's like actually 3 levels of navigation. And you can see that actually with the URL here. And to create those levels of navigation and those URL slugs here, one important thing to know is you have to use the simplified tree view. This is a simplified tree view of this page, and you see of this page module, and you see that, for instance, the level content here has a submenu, and in the submenu is another submenu. And to create those, I need the simplified tree view, because only here I can basically click on the 3-dot menu and say add sub item. So this is an important trick, because when I use the regular pages module, I go down here in my pages, you have with create new, you would have the possibility to create page folder and pages, and you can't do this using a custom module as long as you don't use advanced custom modules, which didn't make sense to me here at that point. I can do everything with one module, but in order to be able to create sub-levels, I need the simplified tree view. So now back to the page. What I did here is actually my agency page, and I have completely different kind of looks here. Like, for instance, this is the blog. So I have like a banner which is giving me a teaser of the latest blog post. I have video in the banner. Sometimes I have a sidebar, sometimes I don't have a sidebar. And this is all controlled with this pages module. So I'll go quickly in one of the items. Let's go on this one here, which is in web development. And one thing is, of course, in simplified tree view, you would always have to use the 3-dot menu to go into edit. So, and you see here, I have different templates I can use. I have different detail layouts I can use. In my case, I use the detail layouts to show different kinds of banner, like banner with pictures, banner without pictures, and so on. And then I have like a whole bunch of custom properties. And this can get really extensive depending on the template you're using. In this case, I can decide if the slogan, for instance, here is in the middle or not. Like I just click this property here, save and reload the page. And now you can see the slogan and the subtitle here is in the middle. Or, of course, the banner picture. But I can also replace the banner picture with the video. So I have like media fields for the 3 usual types of video files, which can be on a server. Or I can even put a YouTube video here in the banner if I want to. I can also decide what kind of overlay I have, like to make the text more visible and what the transparency will be in this black overlay here. And I can decide, I have a call to action here, and I can decide to show this or not show this. Like at the moment it's activated. So if I say no, I can deactivate that. There's always the zoom banner here where actually the refresh should be. I click here. So now the CTA is gone and I can just reactivate it and it's back on. Yeah, and down here is the actual page content, which can be really like very down in this tree of content, like simple text. You can make it really like granular for your client to administer this page by really giving him like a modular way of changing their pages. This is a page without sidebar. I give you another example, a page with a sidebar. That would be here, for instance. Like there's a Flickr photo stream here on the side. or when I go to the blog section, there would be a different sidebar with latest posts and Flickr and popular tags and all this kind of things. There's another advantage. If you like to allow your client to administer their site from the front end, you can actually open this module to the front end on the Pro plan. So if you want to give a client like a very restricted and designed way to put content on their page and make all these changes I can do with the module, you can just like open it up to the front end and create a secure zone for the client to log in and do their things there. That's basically like building your own little admin area for the client. I could also, what I did here is I was using the usual menu module to create the menu. But I could actually replace that and output the custom module here in a kind of list view layout to show the navigation, which means that whenever I add a page or I delete a page, I don't need to go to the menu module in Treepl and do this there. It's basically done automatically whenever I delete an item in the pages module or create an item. I didn't do that in this case because you would need to like kind of sort these here in the list output of your pages module. And you would probably do this with weighting, which is kind of not the nicest way to do that. So I stayed with the usual menu because in menu in Treepl CMS, we can use like drag and drop to arrange the order of the menus. And I find this a little bit like easier to do in this case. A little bit more flexible, but in theory, you could do that. So you could also allow your client, if you open this to the front end, this module, they don't have to, they can even create new pages and delete pages. And the menu reflects automatically what's happening in the pages module. The only thing which we couldn't do, of course, is like activating and deactivating pages, because that's not possible on the front end with customer submitted items. Yeah, that's it so far. I hope this is helpful in any way. Maybe some of you guys want to try this. This is like I did this with my own agency page for now, but I'm also planning to do it on a upcoming project, and maybe even like considering it to be the standard way of developing Treepl sites, which are of course at least on the business plan, because you would not be able to do this on the essentials plan. There's also one other downside which like kind of appeared with the last update of Treepl CMS, which is like the rollback functionality, which we have in pages, is not available in custom modules as long as you don't go for the backup package. So this would also be something you need to consider, that if you want your client to have a rollback functionality, you should use the pages module and or upgrade with a backup module we have now in 6.4 to also be able to do this in your new created custom module for pages. So thanks for watching and listening, and I give back to Adam.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tim. That was really cool. Yeah, I think I might try using that as well. And as you're walking through, I had the idea that, well, you could output all those items for the menu, and then you mentioned that. So that's a really cool feature too, if you wanted just a fully automated menu structure. Because I guess you could have properties in the module that's you could tick whether you wanted in the menu or not. Or yeah, it's a good idea.
It's basically the possibilities are endless. Basically, it's so good that I think there must be another downside I haven't found yet. So if any of you guys have something to say about this, like using this instead of pages, like speed or anything, just tell me now before I do more like that.
Yeah, has anyone else used this approach? I think Aaron, I think you said you had started using it. Anyone else tried this approach? Kind of see, like, particularly with the site you demoed there were quite a lot of things going on. So I guess in that respect, it kind of makes sense because you want all those controls. Do you think it still makes sense for a much simpler site? Like, would you go to that effort for a very simple site that you don't need so many controls?
That really depends. Most sites I do will have at least like a picture, either in the banner or somewhere else. So, and what I was using is mostly like an SEO setting where you would usually put pictures anyway, like in the Open Graph image setting, which makes sense because you would want to have this, you would want this picture to be the Open Graph picture anyway, like the banner picture or whatever you choose to be like the main picture on the page. But it's getting quickly, like very quickly, you will run out of options if you use the Pages module, even on simple pages, just like, for instance, if you want to do a sub headline for your like slogan or whatever you put up in the header, then it's getting difficult. And I'm also thinking of like, if the customer wants to upgrade their pages and make it a bit more like, they have different things they want to do with it, and you can just say, yeah, no problem, we can like create this and that, we can create a new property, make it more flexible, you can switch it on and off. It's just that usually for simple pages, like for instance a 5-page blog site or something like that, like that would be mostly an essentials plan, and of course this is restricted to business plans. You need a business plan because you need the custom module.
Yeah, Tim. Sorry, I was trying to connect my AirPods here.
Good to see you.
I've been using this actually for the last 4 sites. I think it was Tim that sort of suggested it earlier. So, and it works really well. So, I just been. I'll share my screen here too. Pretty much, I like your navigation idea, Tim. That was actually really cool, using the module itself for the navigation too. But the only downside to it is the homepage. For me, the homepage still sort of lives in the main section with all the folders. And then I just have like inner pages, and I can pretty much set everything that I want. Like I can add overlay, I can add all my custom fields, and it works great. Like it totally works well. And I haven't seen any speed issues whatsoever. So,
but you would have to like have kind of a relation between the pages in where your homepage actually is and the module for the inner pages, right? You have to put it on the layout for the pages and tell the module item to what page this inner page belongs to, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could still put you still could set the homepage if you wanted to. I mean, because the module itself has no URL assigned to it, meaning it's going to go right into the root folder, right? So it technically could.
I wonder why you did this in the first place. Not why didn't you go like fully into the custom module, do everything with the custom module, and not keeping the actual pages? Like, why did you keep the pages?
I don't know. To be honest, I still use the folder structure within Pages for like receipt pages or like privacy policy, like any like non-relevant stuff. And I just figured it was it was easier for me. But yeah, I probably like maybe the next site I'll probably put everything under it and go from there. I know within the custom modules itself also has the ability to do like folders within folders, so you just keep going down levels. But what I'm finding with that is once you start doing that, you need to know, like the customer needs to know, like, oh, I need to click edit to get into it. You can't, it's because as soon as you click a folder, you go into the next level of folder down, right? You can manipulate like the views and stuff like that, but it's still not very intuitive for the client. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's one thing I'm always trying to achieve for sites, which I know the client will edit them himself, is I would like to have a consistent structure of content. So whenever there's content at two different places in the admin, and it's not very obvious why this is, it's try to avoid that. I like that's actually one of the strengths of Treepl is to be able to create your own admin menu and make it really kind of easy to show the client where the content sits, like compared to Joomla or WordPress, where you really have to know the CMS to find the content piece you want to edit. So that's what I find charming about using a custom module for pages. You just go there and you tell the client, okay, just use, if you want to find a page, just go to search, type the name of the page, and that's it. You find it, and then you can click on it.
Funny enough, Tim, your idea about having it open it up on the front end as well is actually sparked a really cool idea, because we all know our clients like love giving us content on time, right? So in variety of sources. I say that jokingly. You could actually, if you knew what like their complete navigation was in all pages, you could set up just blank custom modules, give them access, and they can just start dumping content in. And I think it was Peter who gave me a link to some really cool WYSIWYG editor, or maybe it was Adam. But you can actually inject that WYSIWYG editor in there, and it allows you to copy and paste, format, and all that kind of stuff. Because I think the internal one, there's no editing capabilities. So you could just make this as a content repository at the start, and then take their access away, and then you can start your development of the pages, right? But at least you got your content somewhere. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool idea.
Like the idea of opening up the modules, content modules for clients to the front end anyway, because you can do cool things like, for instance, weighting. There's no drag and drop in the admin for weighting. We always have this kind of, okay, you have to put in a number there, and this will determine where the content will be in the list. So I started in one case opened up the module to the front end, and then I replaced a numeric value with a slider on the front end. So at least the client can use the slider and has kind of a bit more intuitive way to set the weighting for the item, stuff like that. And you have all the technologies at JavaScript and HTML to create like really cool admins to inject content in the page, to the page and to the site. Yeah.
And too, like even if you didn't want to go as far as doing your own custom module on the front end, even the new on-site editor is becoming more like that, where all those properties are going to become individual editable sections in the sidebar. So it's even just using the on-site editor would be a lot nicer in that regard, because it would break the page up into those modules that you have.
Yeah, exactly. That's also like something I was thinking of. I don't know how many, if it's only you and me, Adam, who saw this presentation, or anybody else. That the new on-screen editor will be also really a powerful add-on to this way of doing pages and editing them with the on-screen editor. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's too, like, I made the comment that you had quite a complex page. There's a lot of options and that, but you could even have multiple modules for controlling different types of pages. So you could have pages that are quite busy, and then they might have a page that's more streamlined and more focused to do something else, and you want a whole different set of custom properties for those types of pages. So you could just have another module that controls that type of page. So you could really build it exactly how you need it to be.
Another application would be microsites, because I was heard this couple of times that partners are thinking of putting a couple of microsites on one plan. Like you do a pro site and you put 5 websites on it, and you simply create one custom module for each of those websites, and you can either use the admin user roles to restrict access for each of the website users to this particular module, or you just create a front end editing tool secure zone for these website owners to log in to their particular pages, and added that module they basically own as a front end user, which contains their pages.
Yeah, that's really cool. So many possibilities.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any further questions for Tim at this stage? Will anyone be exploring this option on a future project?
I can offer one modest comment on scale and speed. So we do this all the time. And our largest client has about 1,200 pages managed in this way. It has about 10,000 objects, but most of those objects are file references. So they do render as pages, but they're just wrappers for files. But and it's super snappy. Like, it's such an improvement over the old BC world. And so that's a certain scale, I guess, from a comparative sense. It holds together pretty well. Where we've kind of struggled is, well, maybe that's too strong a word, but determining the relationship to the different sort of page objects, what we call page objects. We find when the customer has the keys, they will, upload their iPhone photos, and they'll try to do video embeds, and they'll use sloppy syntax. And so we've tried to box them out of that in our interfaces, and we've tried 2 or 3 different approaches. And in one case, sort of one stream of thought is to put all the objects over here and force a specific rendering cadence. And in another sort of stream of consciousness, we're putting those objects right on the same page record, similar, Tim, to your approach. We haven't found a perfect kind of solution to it. So I personally like it modularized, so that you can reuse those things on different pages, like photographs or videos or sounds or whatever. But we haven't found a customer that's really settled into that cadence yet and are doing it on their own, even though we built the tool so they can do it on their own. We haven't found a customer that's really sunk their teeth in yet. But there's a couple of comments.
Why is it always the customer that gets in the way of our projects? Okay, well, I believe Alex is in the house now, so if anyone's got any final questions for Tim, or feel free to grab the mic. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to Alex. Alex, are you there ready, or you need a few more minutes?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hey, guys.
Hey, Alex.
It was nice hearing Scott's feedback on the speed and so on. That's actually the result of it is the new infrastructure, the version 6, where we separated the processing of data of the website and the actual rendering pages. So basically, there are 2 separate servers working with the data, one separate server working with the data, the remote database server, and the main server works with rendering data. And yeah, that's why, and it's scalable, so that's why it works so snappy. So glad to hear that. So I think Tim has suggested that me or somebody else would visit the meeting to give you some updates on what's going on with our team in the light of events, geopolitical events that are happening in Ukraine, where basically most of our country is. So, do you guys want to ask direct questions? And maybe I'll just answer your questions. How about if we do that?
I think one question, Alex, would just be first, like, how are you guys? Because I was talking to Violetta the other day, and that's a like normal question I would like ask anybody I call in Ukraine at the moment. Like, how are you guys? How are you dealing with it?
Yeah, I get these calls all the time. In fact, my friends from Ukraine and our investor as well, and we're in great relationship. But they basically contacted us back in, well, it was more than a month ago when just things started to pick up, and they were like asking questions and like, hey, we don't like what's going on. We really care about your safety and so on. And they have offered us a lot of help and so on. And we do have a place to, we had a place to go even last month, my family and I. So we have a house and the car and everything in the States available. So we are in Ukraine right now. So we're doing great. Everybody's safe. So yeah, we're in the process of relocating right now. So I'm in central Ukraine with Vlad and one of the senior developers. And we have given options to our team a little ahead of time for to make some decisions to move out from Kharkiv. We do have I don't know if I mentioned it, one of the Treehouse meetings, we are part of the official IT community in the city where we are. And it's, let me actually give you so you understand better context if you guys are interested, for those who are interested. Yeah. So basically this is the organization that works, it's a community of IT owners of company, IT business people, so people that own business IT products or businesses, and it's a community of IT business, government, and educational system. So they basically the universities and the Ministry of Education. So it's a paid membership. It's only for selected people that for selected business owners with a certain scale with certain numbers. And so we've been working closely with them on this whole situation and been in contact with them. And they have people that go to the president's office directly to get updates. We on our meetings, we had people coming from the military, from the local military, from the local government, and give us constant reports about what was going on. So we had access on the insights of everything that was really going on, like intelligence and things like that. Like there was a lot of disclosed information. So, and there were certain red flags for that we have determined that should let us now should give us a green light to move out. So as of today, there were no red flags raised yet from them. But we decided to take action a little earlier. It's a little harder. It's impossible to move out everyone. Some offices in our city, they have more than 1,000 people. This is they basically these are offices that serve Fortune 500 companies, and they have multi-billion companies. So those guys. Didn't move out. They didn't get the red flag or anything. So we have our advantages that we're small, but still, even with that, when we presented options to our team, the decision is made not on an organization level, the decision is made on the family level to relocate internally in Kharkiv, and we have found a place in nearest EU country, not Poland, where the available place that can take all of us and the family members. So that's where we are heading right now. Some of us do already, and the rest is still making their mind up, consulting with the family and so on. So we still have we do have opportunity to support everyone, and provide at least a safe place in Ukraine or in the EU country. We didn't. So we had like emergency suitcases and everything, right? Of course, and just waiting for some signals. And even today, when we hadn't sure that I didn't plan to leave our city. So, but we decided that closer to the lunch that okay, so we probably just gonna move to central Ukraine, at least for today, and we'll go from there. Probably it's not what you guys expected to hear, but still, going back to your original question, how are you? How are we doing? We're doing great. We're doing optimistic. So we do have strong belief in the country and the government and the military. But at the same time, we have options that were to move out from the country, even if the worst thing happens. I also must say that since I have U.S. citizens in my family, we're in contact with the embassy, U.S. embassy, and they provide the assistance, some sort of assistance and guidance. One of is crossing the border. So basically, they have people probably each border assistance, at least to us. So yeah, so this is what happens. It has, things are progressing this last 5 days, this last week. Things have been progressing very aggressively, I would say. There's also, you must know that the reason why we kind of more optimistic and more calm than the rest of the world is, first, we see information a little bit different from how you guys see that. So, for example, I think there was a news that everybody Ukraine should have been attacked. I think February 16th or something. It was like super obvious, and it was like even official on some level. And at the same time, we were getting insights from the military and their intelligence saying that we don't see the capacity of the other side to do that in the nearest future. And the other factor is that in 2014 we had a very similar situation, and a lot of people tried to locate, a lot of companies tried to relocate, and people have experience with relocating, moving, and reacting to all this stuff. So people are way more accurate with their decisions right now with this new aggression. It's very, very similar to what has been going on in 2014. But in 2014 was a little worse because we had some movements in our city, in Kharkiv, where we were living. Yeah. So this is the situation.
So that's good to hear. I was actually kind of expecting that you already have your plan B in place, because you were talking about that ages ago. Was actually thinking, yeah, Alex probably has already like plans for every kind of situation, how likely or unlikely they might be. So it's good that the partners have now like kind of a picture of what's going on. I think that was very valuable information. And I can say from my side, and I'm probably other partners see it the same way, like if there's anything you guys need help or something, like support, I think all of us are like ready to give whatever kind of support you find useful, so to speak. Although I'm pretty sure you have everything in place and you know what you're doing. But that's just a community, you know. I mean, we are in a community, and we would like to support whenever it's possible or helpful.
Well, thank you guys. That's really great to hear. We didn't really want to. I understand we're a community. It's not just a business, and it's a little more than business. And probably from the business perspective, I should say as less as possible, telling you that, oh, I'm in my new office, check out these flowers, everything is fine, and so on, or I'm chilling in Ohio or whatever. So yeah, we do appreciate your care. We kind of upset about this whole situation because we really enjoyed this post BC period, and it's the way how we work. The new things that we implemented into our work process. So we're presenting this new thing for you in the March. This will be our very first one of two projects that features that we worked on completely out of the BC scope, that is targeted strictly the open market and the mainstream solutions. So we were we are planning to present one of those directions, the working results of one of those directions in March. Even John Smith doesn't know about that, although we met recently. Although the only person I met was John personally. Yeah, and in spite of the fact that we're kind of in a situation where we need help, we basically feel, we're pretty content. We have the emergency fund that we basically use for any extra expenses. So we keep the salaries and everything for the team while they're relocating, while they're having all these difficulties. And we also plan to reimburse their expenses for whatever difficulties they have while the stress, well, basically trying to encourage them to take some actions and not regret in the future, even if nothing happens. For now, like officially, we call it like a little corporate party, remote corporate party. That at least for those who are in this hotel. So yeah, try to keep it positive, and I think it's going to work out for us. We're in a very good position comparing to everything that's going on with the rest of the country, since for our work, we only need computer and internet. And also, I think somebody asked in the Slack, and Violetta was communicating a lot with Alexei and the office admin, about the security and all that stuff regarding your sites and your data. So we have everything absolutely. So we don't have any copies of your websites or any of your data on the local machines in the office. Everything that's related to Treepl CMS is stored in our Git account. So we don't have any source code stored anywhere, any computers that are outside of the possessions of the employees, and also it's all deciphered. I think it's the word. And in case if we lose the computer, somebody loses the computer, they won't get access to the source code or anything. So there are measures that, in fact, I think Valletta told me that they went through the security overview once again, and it actually covers everything. So we didn't have to. The only one thing I know that they did, they checked if every computer was deciphered. That was one of the actions. So basically, we didn't have to do any extra work on that department. So you don't have to worry about that. Encrypted. Thank you, Barry. Yes. Yeah, we have encrypted. We have SSL that's encrypted, right? I use that word many times. So any other questions?
How's your leg coming along?
My leg? That's a good question. Well, I'm still on crutches, and they told me that I did 2 MRIs already. They told me I have to use my leg a little bit and then do another MRI in 6 weeks. So I went, for those who don't know, I went for snowboarding with my family, and I broke my leg on the first day during the Christmas. Yeah, so it was like pretty bad. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, I'm more concerned about my leg right now, to be honest. I really want to snowboard next year. Any other questions, guys? Okay, great. Yeah, one thing is, I think there's one thing that I think Valletta, you spoke with Valletta, right, Tim? And she said that Tim was asking if, what kind of help and you guys need and so on. And she said that we'll just continue using Treepl and send us feedback. I really need feedback. We really need survey. You guys to fill out the survey. I think Valletta is waiting for something very important from Aaron, please. And we need feedback for backup extension. And we are planning to talk to you more guys in the future for some upcoming stuff to discuss, to showcase, to get the feedback and so on, for some pretty cool stuff that we really want to implement after several phases of consultations. So yeah, we really enjoy this post BC. It's like we graduated from the university and now we are not obligated to things and this whole freedom, and and we hope to carry out through this whole thing and continue. Okay, any other questions?
Well, thanks for that, Alex. It's always good to hear your positivity and optimism and reassure us all. And I'm sure we're all enjoying this post-BC world as well, seeing Treepl develop. So it's definitely something we all want to see out and stick with you guys. So yeah, as Tim said, if you need help from us, we'll try our best. So yeah, if everyone can get some feedback back to the guys and the team, that would be great.
Yeah, we'll do. Also, by the way, just must admit that we kind of watched some of your progress, some of your sites, and we're really excited to see some of your growth. Like we really see, like especially for partners that are like been with us for 2-3 years, and the sites that you guys take and some other things that we see, the projects that you make, the clients, and we're really excited to see that. We're really glad to see. Oh, here's my. Hold on one second. Yeah, these are my boys. Yeah, we're really excited to see your growth as businesses and how it's really transformed, and we really like to be part of it. Yeah. So thank you guys for choosing Treepl.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Hope we'll see you soon, guys. We'll keep you updated. So if you want, we definitely can, put some status to Slack.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
So yeah, so we're okay. Yeah, we'll give you an update.
All right, Alex.
Thank you guys. Yep, we'll see you soon. Bye.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Bye.